I never did introduce myself. Del Griffith. American Light and Fixture, Director of Sales, Shower Curtain Ring Division. I sell shower curtain rings. Best in the world. And you are?
Neil Page.
Neil Page. Pleased to meet you, Neil Page. So what do you do for a living, Neil Page?
Marketing.
Marketing. Super. Fabulous. Isn't that nice?
Look, I don't want to be rude, but I'm not much of a conversationalist, and I'd really like to finish this article. A friend of mine wrote it, so...
Don't let me stand in your way. Please don't let me stand in your way. The last thing I want to be remembered as is an annoying blabbermouth. You know, nothing grinds my gears worse than some chowderhead who doesn't know when to keep his big trap shut. If you catch me running off at the mouth, just give me a poke in the chops. Oh, that feels good. Oh, God, I'm telling you. My dogs are barking today. Whew. Oh. That feels better.
Did you want to lead, Scott?
I suppose I could lead.
It's up to you.
Sure, why not?
All right.
I mean, I've been wanting to talk about John Candy for a while, so.
Well, I just figured that you were, you felt pretty strongly about this topic, so.
I do. So, yeah, I guess we could do that.
Okay.
I have a request.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know we've talked about the time continuum of the 80s and how technically it starts in the late 70s and bridges over into the 90s. I want to say, because it's John Candy, that we just, if we can, kind of scooch over into just, if not all of 1990.
Just 1990, the 1 year?
Well, I just don't know how you guys feel about that.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
I just, because some of his best, I don't say some of his best stuff because that's a lie. But if I don't talk about the Rescuers Down Under, I'm going to talk about the Rescuers Down Under.
Oh.
Okay.
When he plays the Albatross, oh my God, to this day, that whole scene with him in it at the beginning just has me dying. It's just I'm on the verge of peeing myself. I'm laughing so hard. And then Home Alone is right there. And you can't, I know it was all Macaulay Culkin, but he played a big part in that with Catherine O'Hara. So, if we could, that'd be great.
I'm good with that.
All right. I think I can deal with that. So, are we ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight.
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready. Prepare for blast-off.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
This is 80's Reboot Overdrive podcast.
We were dancing just like Swayze when Jennifer Grey had a nose. Oh, how I miss the 80s, but I'm too young to really know. Too young to know.
Oh my God. That is so dated.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of 80's Reboot Overdrive. We have been doing we've been doing Icon series for a while now. We've been talking about people that we love from movies and TV, and tonight we are going to be talking about John Candy. And with me tonight is Dave.
Hello.
And Rose.
Hiya.
Hi, you guys. It's good to be back on the podcast with you again. I always have such a good time talking to you guys. It's just great reminiscing about all these important characters from this era that we love so much.
Well, what we didn't tell you though, Scott, is Rose and I voted you off the island, so this is your last show.
Okay. Well, I guess I better bring it then, right?
You better be bringing it, bro.
Well, I heard you were going to be like two-timing us with another podcast. So.
Oh no, I'm just talking about one. I'm just one little episode.
See, and my feelings got hurt. I found out about that. I was like, "You're going to do Return to the 80s?" I'm like, "I don't know about that." All right, be that way. If you need to do it, go ahead.
I do. It's Bon Jovi. I mean.
Oh, that's okay. You can do Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Oh, see, Rose forgives you automatically, but
right.
I carry my hard feelings, so.
Okay.
Maybe another few drinks of scotch here, I'll be all right. So go ahead.
Like my wife says to me all the time, "Don't be so sensitive, Dave." I mean, Scott.
I thought I was tenacious. I didn't think I was the sensitive one.
Oh, yeah, tenacious.
Okay. You're an onion.
I'm an onion. All right.
A tenacious onion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're forgiven. Go ahead. You were talking.
Right.
You were going through your introduction.
We want to discuss John Candy. I've been pushing for John Candy for a while. We've been talking about a bunch of different icons to do, and John Candy is just one of my favorite actors from that time. There's a lot of movies that were very just really powerful. Not powerful as in like deep, but powerful as in comedic. It's just so much. So he's just a very funny guy. He's able to be funny all the time. So and I'm kind of piggybacking off of Rose from another show that we did with the cars of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And she chose one of the cars that was in John Candy's movie and Steve Martin, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the awesome Chrysler LeBaron convertible. Or was it? Yeah, it was convertible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And which was basically destroyed in the process because they were going the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You're going the wrong way.
How do they know which way we're going?
How do they know? Yeah, they must be drunk. Anyway, so I guess let's run down his filmography of the 80s. He started earlier than 80. He started back in the early 70s, really, in his acting career. But we'll start in the 80s and touch just into like around 90. So we have 1980, Courage of Cavik, the Wolf Dog, a TV movie. 1980, Double Negative. 1980, The Blues Brothers. 1981, Tales of the Klondike. 1981, Stripes. 1981, Heavy Metal. 1981, Saturday Night Live. He was busy in 81.
Mm-hmm.
1981, SCTV through 1983. So it was, a few years where he did quite a few episodes. He was in the 38 episodes there.
Mm-hmm.
1983, played a little role in National Lampoon's Vacation. 1983, Going Berserk. 1983, SCTV Channel, which was a TV series. 1984, Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters. It was a video short.
Now, I wanted to bring that one up real quick. You guys, was he in the video? The Ghostbusters video? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Maybe he was.
Okay.
He was. They had a lot of actor cameos in that.
Right. Okay.
Like he was in so many things in the 80s. It's incredible. Continuing in 1984, the new show is called a TV series. 1984 again, Splash. 1985, The Last Polka. 85, Brewster's Millions. 85, Follow That Bird. 85, Summer Rental. 85, Volunteers. 85, The Canadian Conspiracy. 85, Martin Short Concert for the North Americans. So I don't know if I've ever seen one of the other icons that have been in so many in 1 year. So many different things in 1 year. That's incredible. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things. And several of them were full feature movies. And now my computer's freezing up. Okay, there we go. Sorry. 1986, Dave Thomas, The Incredible Time Travels of Henry Osgood. 1986, Armed and Dangerous. A 1986, Little Shop of Horrors. 1987, Really Weird Tales. 1987, some spoof called Spaceballs.
Yeah.
1987, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which we talked about. 1988, She's Having a Baby. 1988, The Great Outdoors. 1988, Hot to Trot. 1988, Sesame Street Special. We all know Sesame Street. 1989, Who's Harry Crumb? 1989, Cannonball Fever. 1989, Uncle Buck. 1989, The Rocket Boy. And 1990, he was pretty busy too. He had Home Alone, Nothing But Trouble, The Rescuers, Down Under. There's a few there in 1990. So, and the Dave Thomas Comedy Show, which I don't know. Anyway, as you can tell, he was a very, very busy guy in the 80s, and if he had maybe lived a little bit longer, we probably would have seen quite a bit more from him, because I just think he was just a great comedian.
Yeah.
Even though I never really remember seeing him do any kind of comedic stand-up routines, but he was just a funny guy all the way around. So, that being said, there's a lot to pick from, guys. lot to pick from. So how about Rose? Do you want to start us out and give us one of your favorite moments of John Candy?
Oh man, there's so many. I just, I do want to interject just because I can. Coming from the SCTV group, and being from Chicago, both you gentlemen know that's like a comedy club within itself,
right? And
it's a family of improv comedians, and there's people there from. You can't throw a rock and not hit somebody that's been a part of SC. The Second City Television or Second City Comedy Group, which eventually turned into that. But a lot of his stuff on that, when they all had the original characters that they played, like Guy, whatever his name was, and we all know who they were. And so I remember seeing him in that and watching that, thinking, "Oh my God, this guy is hysterical." And then of course, Family, National Lampoon's Vacation. He's Lasky, the guard at Wally World. And later on, he just gets better and better. In Summer Rental, Volunteers, Brewster's Millions. It's hard. It's hard to pinpoint one exactly, but I'm going to do my best to try. One of the favorite movies that I liked that he was in was Who's Harry Crumb. And I know I'm surpassing all of the main amazing movies. Everybody's going to go, oh my God. For the 80s anyway, because I have a special one for the 90s, but that's another conversation. But it's because of the person that he plays. He's just a regular guy, Harry Crumb. He comes from an amazing line of private detectives. He's just managed to skip his generation somehow. I mean, he knows that he's destined for greatness, and he propels himself into the greatness that all of his ancestors were, but he's not quite up to the caliber that they were. But that doesn't stop him from trying. And his cast that they surrounded him with, Jeffrey Jones and, Shawnee Smith, people, these great actors that are supporting cast, but they're character actors. And it's just, if you ever saw the movie, he's playing this guy and he's trying to find, somebody. And he's being set up, basically. And they want him to fail. That's why they hired him. Little did they know that they were actually going to get him to solve the case. And he has all of these disguises that he uses. And his word of the day calendar, to me, is just, I've seen people who have those, and I've always thought, do those things actually work? So he's sitting there and he's trying to, philanderer, He ends up calling the guy a philodendron and, and all of this. And I don't know. He's trying, but he's not really getting it. And it just goes to show you that his character's always had heart, no matter what. I don't think he ever played anybody that was like mean or deceitful or dishonest or anybody like that. He always played the guy with heart, the guy that cared about people, and the guy that would go for the extra mile no matter what. And Harry Crumb to me was like, he epitomized that, with his willingness to want to do the right thing, and yet the odds around him, the odds were against him all over. So just a really memorable role and an excellent, it's not a very popular movie. It may be even considered a cult classic, but just fantastic. Very good comic relief.
Yeah. Dave, are you familiar with this one?
Actually, I don't think I ever did see Who's Harry Crumb, but I just looked at the tagline, and I love the tagline. Nerves of steel, body of iron, brain of stone. So, if that is a way to describe the movie, I'm like, that's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing the movie. I don't remember it grabbing my attention at the time. But definitely, I totally agree with you with his characters that play heart.
Mm-hmm.
Or that have, his characters always have that big heart. And I see it in just about every role that he plays. Seriously. Mm-hmm. That was a really good way to put it. So anyway, so Dave, what do you want to go with your with one of your moments?
Well, I feel like the one that I have to pick, but I mean it's not the one I'm going to go with, but I just want to mention it, and it's because it's something that we still bring up at our family gatherings. The Blues Brothers, there's a moment where he says orange whip. That's what we refer to as a beer. Anytime somebody wants a beer, like another beer, somebody's getting up at the pool or whatever it is, they want an orange whip, and so we're constantly using his line from the Blues Brothers over and over, and it still plays well to this day. So I just wanted to bring that one up because, I had the moment with John Candy. But the moment I'm loving him for, and the one that I wanted to just bring up is, my name's Dewey Oxberger. My friends call me Ox. You might have noticed that I've got a slight weight problem. Yeah, I do. I went to this doctor. Well, he told me I swallow a lot of aggression, along with a lot of pizzas. Pizzas. I'm basically a shy person. I'm a shy guy. He suggested I take one of these, aggression training courses. These aggression training courses like EST, those type of things. Anyway, it costs $400. $400 to join this thing. Well, I didn't have the money, and I thought to myself, join the Army. It's free. So I figured while I'm here, I'll lose a few pounds. And you got what? A 6 to 8 week training program here? A really tough one? Well, that's perfect for me. I'm going to walk out of here a lean, mean, fighting machine. So, of course, Dewey Oxberger in Stripes.
Yeah.
Loved him. Loved him in that role. There was a scene where they basically Bill Murray's character makes him get into the mud pit with a bunch of, I don't know what you want to call them, the striptease girls or whatever, and he's mud wrestling with them, and then afterwards when they're trying to get back on the base and they're like, he's trying to explain to the captain as to where they the excuse as to why they were at this striptease establishment, and he's like, well, we tried to go to the bingo parlor, but directions got lost. Just everything about Dewey was just absolutely fantastic in Stripes, and I just loved him in that role. So that's my favorite.
That was he played a supporting role in that movie, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely Bill Murray and Harold Ramis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were the leads, of course, but there were definitely some great supporting roles, and John Candy was awesome in that movie. I had Dewey Oxberger, Ox, and the whole spiel that you just gave with that scene. It's something that I can relive over and over and over and over again, and I see John Candy every time I can, every time you think of it. So it's very it's a good pick, great pick. So, Rose, how do you feel about Dewey?
I think I saw the movie like maybe once. But it doesn't mean I don't have memories of Dewey. He was just like a big lovable teddy bear. I don't know, he really kind of looked out of place. But he made the best of it, so it was just like he is one of those things where, he doesn't know his own strength, and he's got a, kind of a bright outlook on life, and, with the whole, I couldn't afford the $400, so I'm just going to join the Army. That's free, Okay. There's a positive outlook for that, And, he probably got picked on and, guys teased him or whatever, but, he was a good guy.
Yeah, I loved Ox. There's so much of that just really made that movie even more iconic than it was, and that was thanks to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really enjoyed him. Being that, I don't know, I don't know if you want to call him a lovable dope, but just naive. Yeah. Pushover. Maybe a pushover. It's like, all right. They're not expecting you. You're a mutant, and, being, trying to get him into the mud pit with the girls,
Yeah.
My main man here is going to do it for $411.89, whatever it was. Just loved it. Absolutely loved him. But, it was his role with Bill Murray. I think, the tag team of those two working together is what really sold that.
Well, yeah, and considering they both came from SCTV,
right?
That group of people that they worked well together. I mean, that was just I'm sure they had a great rapport.
Definitely,
and it showed on screen. They just played well off each other. It was great. So,
so Scott, what about you? What's your pick?
Yeah.
There's like, we usually go by threes, right? And there are three like main movies that I always think of when I think of John Candy, and it's so hard to like take one over the other. But I still can't even pick. But I'm gonna go with The Great Outdoors.
Nice.
Him and his, between him and Dan Aykroyd playing off each other the way they do, it's just great. Roman and Chet, Chet just says, and here he is again trying to be this. He's this warm guy that is just trying to share something that was so special to him from his father to his own kids.
Yeah.
And then you throw Roman into the mix. And it changes the whole thing, But that whole outdoor woods thing, I think it relates. It's relatable to me because I'm from the north, the Midwest, and you look forward to those trips up north, right, Dave?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Rose, I don't know if you get the when you live in northern Illinois, you kind of look forward to going up to the north woods of Wisconsin or Michigan to get away from it all, and that's basically what it was. The way it was set up. Yeah. At one point, John Candy or Chet asks Dan Aykroyd, what do you see or something like that, and he says, you know what I see? And he rattles off all this stuff. I see this wood mill and all, and and a medical facility with everything, all the waste packaged up and sealed for centuries down in the bottom of this lake. And John Candy just goes, I see trees. I see a lot of trees.
I was so going to mention that one. It's like, I see trees, Roman. Because you pan out to the lake and, you hear like the crickets and the birds chirp, and it's like, yep, see trees.
Yeah. And
and then he goes on to say, if only, all the rest of us could be as, uncynical or whatever,
Yes.
Maybe something about uncynical and lighthearted or something like that, though all the rest of us are whatever. And he goes, yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great?
Have heart attacks.
So, we're all going to die of heart attacks. Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and just a little trivia for that scene that we're talking about right now. They are drinking out of glasses, and I know this is going to totally put me in a new world of geekdom. They are drinking out of glasses that are Empire Strikes Back glasses from like either Burger King or McDonald's. I can't remember who reproduced, but I'm not kidding. If you watch that scene, and you look at the glasses that they're drinking out of, you will see that they are Star Wars glasses, and it's awesome.
It's incredible. It's because you would have something like that in your house.
Actually,
if you had kids.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and get this, I actually have one. I have a glass from that era, from the Star Wars movies.
Which one?
I have this. It's from A New Hope, and it's C-3PO and R2-D2.
Oh, okay. So I think it's the one with them on Tatooine.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Nice.
Or I'll post it. So, anyway. Let's see. Yeah, so The Great Outdoors. It's one of my wife and I break that DVD out often. Like we've seen that movie so many times. And it's just enjoyable every time I see it, and I just love his character in it. He's awesome. He's great. He's funny. He's lovable. Big lovable guy in it too. Just wants to be dad.
Yep. Just wants to have that moment. Wants to go down to the garbage dump, watch the bears. Get the bears as Agnes.
You've seen this a few times too, haven't you, Rose?
I have. That's one of my
Is
favorites.
it one of your favorite movies? Yes.
It is.
It's
totally
classic.
is. Yeah.
So,
And I
Dave?
think John Candy made it that way.
oh yeah.
All right.
I don't see anybody else playing this role.
Oh no.
All right, 80s Reboot listeners, stand by. I haven't seen it. Nice! That's exactly the reaction I thought I was going to get.
Oh my God!
David.
Oh my God!
David Allen White. How dare you?
Actually, the full name is James David White, but go ahead.
I went with it. So.
Wow.
David Allen White. Duh. All right. I love that. All right.
Oh. I'm
That is one of my 80s gaps.
flabbergasted. Oh, man.
And as you guys were geeking out about it, I was like, they're going to come back to me and they're going to ask.
Oh my God!
And I've got to admit this. So.
Yeah, this is my Roadhouse. What can I say?
Your Roadhouse. I love that. That's good comparison.
My Roadhouse. I knew that was going to come back to haunt me later.
But this is also my thing. You know, John Carpenter's The Thing. So this goes in the same bucket, probably.
No.
No. Oh, okay. This is worse. Oh, this is a worse offense. Okay.
Yeah, I just that whole time that you two were just talking, I was just sitting with my head in my hands.
Oh my God!
The Overlord has disappointed.
He even
No. I'm going to look past this, Dave, because I failed in our car talk, in our talk about cars of the 80s. I failed.
You failed.
I failed as an 80s fan because I didn't watch Miami Vice and I did not watch the A-Team.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
So we're good.
We're allowed these.
Yes, and not everybody from our show can watch every single movie and every single TV show.
We're allowed these moments of transgressions.
But you need to go watch this. I'm telling you.
So this is not just homework. This is like I cannot my world cannot continue until I've watched The Great Outdoors. Is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Rose?
Yeah, I'm speechless right now. Seriously, I have nothing to say.
Okay, The Great Outdoors is like an hour and I don't know, probably 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, you will not be upset, okay? You will not be disappointed. We are talking about the old 96er. We're talking about a jet boat. We're talking about learning how to water ski and just
go loose.
Let go. Go loose. Just
go loose.
And I'm sure these are all things I would get had I seen the movie.
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
Would.
All of a sudden, it's like when I finally broke down and saw The Godfather, it's like I started getting all these little references of all these little in-jokes that were made, for years.
Yeah.
And I didn't get them before. And then once I'd seen The Godfather, I was like, oh, that's okay, now I get it. So all these things that you guys are talking about, then I would get. So, all right.
And can I also throw in another little thing? Academy Award winner Annette Bening.
No, I mean, I'm looking at the cast. I mean, there's really no reason not to watch it.
Who, at the time,
just don't
apparently
think,
was 25 years old.
It's like one of those things where I just don't think I made the time. That's all.
Yeah, really. I'm telling you, Dave. Dude, I can't even tell my wife about this.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that would be even a bigger offense than the Batmobile.
It's up there.
Do
it's
it.
up there. It's up there, dude.
Do it, man. Tell her.
Oh
Chrissy!
My God. Let's not that asshole. No, let's not do this, please. Come on. We'll be
Chrissy.
here all night.
I'd love
Dave
this.
has never seen The Great Outdoors. Oh, my word.
Is that what I got? Was it oh my word?
That's all she's got right now.
That's all she's got. She's going to stew on that for a little bit and come back to us.
No, I'll hear about it tomorrow, I'm sure.
All right. No, it serves
She's
better
from
if
Chicago too.
give her a mic.
Yeah, she is. She's from Chicago, too.
I'm surprised she didn't say, "Oh my god."
Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
Put her on the mic, man. I want to hear it.
No, she won't.
Look, we ain't got time for Dave to grow a pair. Come
Okay.
on. Let's...
So, anyway.
I'm not going to argue. I just want to hear it. That's all.
Oh, Otto, the testosterone's like really high right now. Just take a deep breath.
This is such a...
No, I'm okay. No, it's really. I just wanted to hear her reaction. I think it'd be great podcast material.
Oh, yeah. No, she's got her hands... She's got her hands in the sink right now, so...
Oatmeal or something. She doesn't have time.
Okay,
No,
right.
we have a new foster dog that came in just a couple days ago, and she's only a year and 3 months old, and she's a puppy, and she's into everything. So her hands full out there right now. Cute though. Anyway.
So speaking of John Candy 80s movie, Spaceballs, never saw it.
Shut up.
Get out. Get off.
You're so full of it. Now you're just pulling my leg.
Now I'm messing with you.
Just fuck off
Okay.
right now. He's just mucking about now.
Yeah. Fair. Dude, I'm telling you, Dave, you really, if you like John Candy, you need to watch this movie.
I get it. We got to move on, man.
Okay, Rose, what's your next pick?
Ooh.
Are we doing top three?
Sure.
What?
I didn't know we were doing top three. Wow. Okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
We do that for all the other icons, right? Kind of.
Well, not really. We just talked about our top favorite moment, and then we did, our kind of recap as to,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, but
You're right.
But if you want to do top three, I'm good with that.
You, my friend, are always right.
Well, you are the overlord.
This is true.
You're running the show, Scott. However you want to do this.
No, I would like. I mean, there's definitely more movies that I want to talk about. I just can't leave it at one pick per person.
This is
right
John
now.
Candy.
All right, well then
He
go
was-
on with another pick, dude. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Rose, do you want to talk about another specific movie before I
Decibel,
go
please,
and jump
you.
in? Yeah.
Please.
This is getting out of control.
Totally.
It's different when I run it. Anyway.
I'm off the tracks, man.
Oh man, you guys.
Hashtag replace Scott. Anyway, go ahead.
This is a tough one because I have to go outside the box. I have to do a 90s movie for John Candy. It was the sequel to The Rescuers. The Rescuers Down Under, and he plays the voice of Wilbur, the albatross, and he takes over from his cousin, who apparently retired or moved down south or wherever he went. And he's extremely comical, even being an albatross. So my favorite part of that movie, I mean, I don't really care about, honestly, this is horrible. The main characters, these little mice guys, those are cool. They're great. I get it. They're the lead character. But when you come to his portion of the film, and he's flying them to Australia, wherever it is they need to go, and he goes to help them with their luggage, and he picks up their bags. Now, if anybody knows how big an albatross is, the suckers aren't small. And here he's got these little tiny mouse luggage in each wing. And you hear this crick. Oh, his back goes out. He goes, oh, can't go up, can't go down. Take the bags. And I'm just looking at that, just dying. Because there's this huge freaking albatross. And he's got these little teeny tiny bags and he can't lift them anymore because his back went out. I'm thinking, holy crap. That is it like the sight gag above all sight gags? I have no idea what is. So all through the movie, if you've seen it, they're trying to get his back in alignment so he can get back in disguise type of thing. But his character in that was just hysterical. Just, the one-liners, he's dancing when they first meet him. He's John Candy's, any music that you ever see with him in a movie, it's always this early, like, jazz, bebop, Ray Charles type stuff, that he liked. And I always kind of follows him throughout any movie. On Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobile, he liked that kind of. I think he really did, like that kind of thing, and that really fit his character, no matter who he played. So, give me Wilbur the Albatross any day. I'll just rewind, laugh, rewind. It never gets old. It's a great, great scene, great movie.
Dave, do you have anything on this one?
I love the fact that that you're bringing up, the voice of John Candy, because it's not John Candy acting. It's not him on screen. It's just his voice that's bringing this character to life. And it was such an iconic moment for you that you felt the need to let's revisit this. And obviously, there was people that were drawing the Albatross and putting the character to life, but it was the voice that really brought it all in, and that was a credit to John Candy. And I think it's just awesome that that you're recognizing that.
I like your point, Dave. This is good because it's not just the face that you see.
Yeah, you don't see. I mean, the other picks that we have John Candy for, everything else you got him for in the 80s was physical humor. And that's kind of what you got used to with John Candy. Was the physical humor element. You got that all through all these other movies, that we talked about. Is just the comedic big chubby guy. But he didn't have that in that movie. You didn't see that part of him. All you had was his voice to bring that character to life. And it stayed with you all throughout these years. So I think that's awesome. I think that's a credit to him as an actor.
It is.
It really is. Because there's a lot of times when you're watching those animated movies or cartoons, whatever you want to call them, and you recognize the voice of a certain actor, and it makes it that much more enjoyable because the actor. And I think I'm guessing because it was 1990, it was later on after he'd already had a successful career that you knew who it was when you heard his voice, right? The first time you heard it, you're like, oh, that's John Candy. That's awesome. And you're able to really put that character of the animated movie, even though it's a albatross, you're able to relate it to this image that you have of John Candy and his the way he portrays himself, the way he comes off as an actor or a comedian. And it's just it's just a very powerful thing to be able to do, to bring that to life through an animated show. This is a great point, Dave. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
No problem at all.
For really bringing it around. And thanks, Rose, for picking that specific role for him, because it's something that most people wouldn't think of when you say, hey, what's your favorite John Candy moment? Most people are going to say, like what we already talked about, some of the main movies where you see him. So, Dave, did you want to talk about any other movies? Because I definitely got a couple others that I want to mention before we wrap this up.
Well, I got two movies that I'm thinking of, and they're basically overall the same character. And hear me out, on this, but I'm thinking Brewster's Millions and Splash.
Okay.
You've got Spike in Brewster's Millions, and you have Splash in, and he's Freddy. And basically, he's a sidekick guy. You know, in Brewster's Millions, he's the sidekick of, you know, just trying to help Brewster spend his not spend his millions, but you know, be smart. You know, and in Splash, he's doing the same thing. He's the, you know, the voice of reason for this character that is doing these oddball things. You know, in Splash, he's got this friend that, you know, has this love affair with a mermaid, and he's trying to, you know, you've got to keep yourself grounded, man. Let's, you know, we've got business to take care of, we've got things, you know, and, you know, let's just be, you know, do what we need to do to take care of business and be smart, you know. And the same thing with Brewster's Millions. He's doing the same thing. So he's basically the same character, but the way he brought it about was, you know, just a great sidekick character and being the voice of reason, you know. And a lot of times, you know, in previous roles, I didn't see him as that. And I thought it was great to see him as kind of the guy that, you know, is just a good friend. You know, is just the person that you'd be like, yeah, I could see him being, you know, a good guy to have with me, to have by my side, and just, I'd be able to, you know, bounce ideas off of, you know, and, you know, that's what I saw him in those two roles. So I wanted to bring them up both as equals because, you know, I saw them as kind of the same role. I don't know if you guys did or not.
I get that.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense with that. Those two roles specifically, you know, the sidekick role.
Right. And I mean, then you got a complete opposite of that with him and the Volunteers, where he was kind of over the top, you know, Mr. Gung Ho, you know, versus Tom Hanks' character, who is kind of snobby. You know? Right. So it was kind of like, you know, let's go save the world, you know, and then, you know, Tom Hanks is like, well, I don't think so. You know.
You know, I'm just thinking about all these people that we're talking about, and just look at some of the people that he's been in movies with.
Right.
And some of the people that he's worked for. Steven Spielberg, you know, did 1941, even though it was, you know, kind of a failure. As far as
I thought he was funny in that one too.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But you know, the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, you know, Bill Murray, Tom Hanks a couple of times, you know, Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, all these people that he's been with, and he, like, really a serious 80s icon. You can't think about the 80s without thinking about him. And, you know, a couple of Hughes films, actually. John Hughes, you know. Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which are the other two that I would love to talk about. We could talk about for a while longer if we had time. but really, I mean, like, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it goes back to that lovable guy that's just got this big heart, and he's actually like the comic relief in a way in that movie, in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because, you know, Steve Martin plays the serious kind of, you know, he's stressed out and in a hurry to get home, and John Candy's like the doofus that's getting in the way, but he plays it so well that you still love the guy, you know. And there's so many great quotes of all this stuff from all these movies that John Candy's been in. And I feel like we really lost a really funny actor way too early in his life. I mean, he was only 43 years old. 43.
Way too young.
I passed that 5 years ago, well, almost 6 years ago. You know, and it's sad that we lost him at an early age and that he couldn't contribute more. even though he gave us a lot to work with just
Yeah,
from
okay.
the 80s. And I'm just really, I guess I'm going to get around to, well, I don't know if I can, say it's time for final thoughts. I mean, we really haven't had as much of a conversation as I thought we would, because I thought we'd dig a little deeper into some of the movies.
Yeah.
But I don't want. I could go on all night long with several different movies. Still, I mean, just Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles alone.
Yeah, and we spent like 0 time on Spaceballs.
I know that barf. I mean,
oh yeah, the character.
That's such an amazing.
That's hysterical.
Right.
I was at Comic-Con in Seattle this year, and we're going up the escalator, and the two main characters from Spaceballs,
Lone Star,
with that Bill Pullman, Lone Star,
yeah,
and Barf are coming down the escalator. My son and I both turned and pointed to him and went, "Look, Barf!" And he did a thumbs up and was like, "Yeah." It's just like, and people are like looking at us going, "What?" I was like, "Oh, you all are fired. You haven't seen."
One of my favorite cosplays was when I go to C2E2. It was, they had the whole cast of Spaceballs, and they were like acting out scenes in front of the big C2E2 sign. So like everybody was able to pull their cameras out and take pictures and whatnot, and it was just funny. It was like you had the dark helmet there with everyone else, and they were all protecting their family jewels. It was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it's a very iconic movie. And Barf was, the Chewie there, if you will.
Yes, Chewbacca.
For the happy-go-lucky Chewie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his tail was always wagging.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say. I love when they show the scenes where his tail is just like wagging randomly, like he's not. It's like they're not showing anything that would be making him happy, but his tail's just kind of wagging in the background. It's just kind of it's almost an afterthought that his tail's just wagging. He's a happy dog,
Yeah, well, just like when Lone Star calls out his name, Barf, Barf, and the ear goes up, and he's got the box of dog biscuits, and he just goes bebopping back to where he is, and the tail's wagging. Oh, it's hysterical. Oh,
okay,
I love that movie.
So you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm drawing a blank on what barf actually meant. It was.
Did that stand for something?
I thought it was like a combination of words, like part man, part dog.
It probably did, but honestly, I
cannot remember what it is. No.
I thought it was just because, barf. That's what dogs. Instead of barf. That's
what dogs do. Is they barf.
Yeah,
that is true. Dogs do. Barf.
It's like dogs bark, but barf, or but I don't know. I just thought it was an iconic dog thing. It might have stood for something. Bionic animal retrieval. I don't know. You got me.
Well, his full name was Bartholomew.
Nice. Are you actually reading that to me?
Barf, full name Bartholomew, is an obvious parody of Star Wars Wookiees, and more specifically Chewbacca. He is a Mog, half man, half dog. Thus, he is his own best friend.
Right, that's what he was a
That's
Mog.
what it is. He's a Mog.
His name was Barf, but he was a Mog, part man, half dog. Okay, got it. Yes, he was and he was his own best friend.
And thank you, Wikipedia.
That is classic.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because doesn't that line, when you're right, you're right, and you, my friend, are always right. Doesn't that come from Spaceballs? Doesn't he say that to Lone Star? I got that from somewhere. I don't know where I got that from. But...
The line that I always remember from Spaceballs is "May the Schwartz be with you."
Yeah. Mine was, he shot at my hair, and expletive, and off she goes. Like, never fired a gun in her life, but you damaged the hair. That's it. You're going down. What woman in the 80s did not protect her hair on, the threat of death if you touched it? Hey, Aquanet wasn't cheap back then, just saying.
Right.
Relax. So, did anybody see Hot to Trot?
Hot to Trot. Oh, was that with what was the guy's name that did the game show with the suitcases?
Oh, Howie Mandel.
No,
Howie Mandel. Thank you.
No, this is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Was that okay?
Yeah.
Hot to Trot. Was that a horse movie?
Fred Cheney receives an inheritance after the death of his mother, a speaking horse that also has a good knowledge about the stock market. With the help of his horse, Fred gains a lot of the stock market at Chicago. Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
I remember
hearing. I remember the name.
Yeah. I just liked watching it because of Bobcat Goldthwait and John Candy being the horse. The voice of the horse, of course.
Oh, okay. I got you now. Yeah. Overall, I just don't. Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, Automobiles, and The Great Outdoors are just like the three main movies that I can't help it. I've watched them over and over and over again, all three of them. I mean, I don't think there's a year that goes by without watching them. Seriously.
Right.
Either we'll come across it on Netflix or TV or whatever, or we'll pop the DVD in, but we watch those almost annually. And it's just, he's definitely one of our favorite comedic actors from that era, and it's just it's so fun to think about, and it's enjoyable to have that nostalgia when you think about John Candy. And I'm guessing he would have never been nominated for an Oscar or anything, because most of those comedic actors really don't ever get the true recognition that they deserve. You always have to have a serious role to get an Oscar, which is kind of disappointing, because I think there's some of the comedians out there, male or female, are some of the best actors that you can put on screen, really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfair, but that's a totally different show. So anyway, do you guys want to do you have any final thoughts, or are we kind of ready to wrap this one up? Do you have any final thoughts, Dave?
Well, I was glad that I got to call out the quote that we always use for the Blues Brothers. Orange Whip. Like I said, every family get together. Orange Whip, and thank you, John Candy. I know that there was writers involved in that, and it wasn't just John Candy, but it was just iconic, and it's something that's going to stick around for as long as I'm going to go to family gatherings.
It's about the delivery, though.
Yeah,
John Candy had the delivery,
and I'm so glad that I was able to do an episode where I was able to read the quote of Ox from Stripes.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, so that was all thanks to John Candy. Great icon. He did so much in the 80s and even before. Because I mean, I liked what he did in 1941, even though we glazed on it.
Right.
So I enjoyed all that. And even though obviously I've got a huge 80s gap, as we covered for a few minutes on this show, I still think that John Candy, what I've seen of him in the '80s, and even a little bit after, he was awesome, very awesome. Yeah. So I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk through him.
Definitely.
Rose, do you have any final thoughts?
I do.
Okay.
Just to parrot briefly what Dave said. I look upon him, John Candy, as gracing our presence. Mm-hmm. Literally. He just brought so much, to the big screen, the little screen, however many screens. I'm sure he probably even did some theater, wouldn't surprise me. But for the many iconic movies that he's been in, I have also acquired one of the little quotes that he has from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And when they made the money at the bus station with the shower curtain rings, and he tries to give Steve Martin, once he realizes he's not going to be traveling with him, he wants to give him half of the cash. It's only fair. And he's like, no, I don't need it. He's like, no, yes, no, it's only if it's yours, and says, well, I don't want it. Buy your kids a chocolate turkey. I don't know how many times I've used that line on my kids, when they're like running short on cash, and it's just like, well, here's 20. And he's like, I don't need it, Mom, I'm fine. She's like, oh, buy the kids a chocolate turkey. And they just look at me like, whatever, nice. And they take it, it's just like, because I ain't gonna ask again, but he would have, and he did. He just kind of left it there, he was determined that he was only going to walk away with what he rightfully earned, and that was John Candy all over the place.
These are filled with helium.
Yeah.
So they're very light.
Very light. Yeah.
Shower curtain ring salesman. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes you look like you're 18. Easy. It's like, a girl at 15 didn't want to hear that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm buying a pair of those.
Now that's a good one. There's so many great lines in that movie too, between the two of those guys, Steve Martin and John Candy. They really, really played well off each other in that one. It was a perfect combination. I don't know if you could find a better combination of a duo like that played so well. The serious guy, and then, like I said before, kind of the doofusy in the way guy. He takes off his socks on the plane. Oh, my dogs are barking. The last thing I want to be remembered as some chowderhead that wouldn't shut up. That's good stuff. I just love the guy. I love him. Yeah. I really was sad when I heard that he passed.
My heart broke.
It was a heartbreaker, definitely. It was just hard to imagine that we would, lose such a great comedian. So
fast. Yeah.
Anyway,
and how did he die? Was that like I thought it was a heart attack, wasn't it?
It was. He was in Mexico at the time filming
Wagons East.
Yes.
Yeah. I liked all his little funny little tributes to his homeland of Canada too.
Yeah.
Of his, Canadian stuff. Like there was a scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Steve Martin first recognizes him. He's like, "You stole my cab," and the book that John Candy is reading. See, these are the little details that I pick up on because I've seen the things so many times that I look for all the little details. The book that John Candy is reading is like I know this is an adult show, but it's kind of like a soft porn type book or something. I mean, like that's the way I see it, because it's called The Canadian Mounted, and it's got a picture.
Right.
It's got like a seductive woman on the front of it. It's just The Canadian mounted, really.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Wow.
Silly little things like that, little tributes to Canada. And he's done a few other movies where it's Canadian, like the Canadian Conspiracy was actually a pretty funny movie that he was in, where they thought that Canada was going to be invaded by America. It was funny. Anyway, so it saddens me that we had to lose him. And we're talking
94.
So it's 22 years ago. Yeah. Actually, it's the year that my wife and I got married. Wow.
My God.
2 years, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And there's a few that we had to skim over, that we couldn't really talk about, like Summer Rental. Armed and Dangerous is another great one. Eugene Levy. Let's see, what else?
Stood the test of time. Definitely.
Yeah, Cannonball Fever, which was a follow-up to Cannonball, which had another bunch of great cars in it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Little Shop of Horrors, or shout out to our honorary member, Frederick.
Right on. I was just eyeballing that right now, actually. Yeah. I was looking at that Little Shop of Horrors. He was an awesome comedian, and I'm so glad that you guys let me take the reins on this one and talk about John Candy, just as one of my favorite actors from that era as an icon. So, anyway,
and it was kind of important to you that we did this one on the eve of Thanksgiving, because of Planes, Trains, Automobiles, right?
Yeah, that Planes, Trains, Automobiles has become a that one specifically is tradition. I said that we watch the other ones annually. That could be any time of the year, really, for Uncle Buck or The Great Outdoors. The Great Outdoors typically in the fall, just because it kind of feels fall, has a feel to it. But specifically, PTA, because I can't say the word anymore. There's just too many. Anyway, it's so specific to Thanksgiving. With them trying to get to a specific place on Thanksgiving is just a disaster the whole way. We watch it almost pretty much within about a week of Thanksgiving every year. I'm due, actually. I haven't watched it yet this year, so I'm due. I'm going to watch it in the next couple of nights, and I will just enjoy every minute of it. So
is that something you and Chrissy, you're like, tonight's the night, we're going to watch PTA?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. That's like one of those things. That, and then, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll watch Christmas Vacation.
Oh, there you go. Another good one.
Yeah.
Which is, it's become an annual thing for us. So, and then piggybacking off of the car talk with Rose picking that Chrysler LeBaron, that was, Rose, I got to give it to you. That was such an awesome pick, both in your blog and for our podcast the other week.
Thank you.
So
it means a lot.
But I picked the Thunder Tank. What?
What was that? Batmobile? I'm sorry, you broke up there for a second. Did you say Batmobile?
Oh, jeez. Sorry, Chrissy.
Oh, you sounded just like John Ritter.
Yeah, John Ritter. Nice. That was a good call, Rose. Where's Janet? Janet? They're going to meet us down at the Regal Beagle.
Sweet. Hope Mr. Roper's going to be there.
Oh, the Regal Beagle. Oh, my God. Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, that clip of WKRP is still circulating out there on the internet. You guys see that?
No.
Oh, there's a...
Okay. I saw somebody post it on Facebook, but I didn't watch the actual clip.
Yeah, if you ever watch the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati, there's a scene where they, as a promotion for the radio, they decide that they're going to give away free turkeys.
Drop them.
But that they drop them from a helicopter.
Oh my!
Not realizing they can't fly. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. It is TV comedy gold. So if you ever get a chance, please go out there and YouTube that WKRP Thanksgiving, and you'll love it.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. So
yeah.
As soon as we get off the phone, I'm gonna play it. So, all right, let's do social media and wrap this thing up. This has been a great conversation. Thank you so much again. Seriously,
you're welcome.
Yeah,
good
definitely
fun. Social media, Dave. You want to start off with the 80s reboot stuff?
Yeah, I handle the 80s Reboot accounts, and that's Twitter at 80s Reboot. Tumblr's 80sreboot.tumblr.com. We're on Facebook. That's facebook.com/80s Reboot. We have an email. That's 80sreboot@gmail.com. And let's see, what else do we have? There's something else I'm forgetting.
Are you forgetting the blog?
The blog, southgatemediagroup.com/80s Reboot blog, which Rose is definitely contributing some good stuff in there with the her favorite 80s cars, and also her in Halloween. You posted those your favorite tunes from the 1980s on Halloween. So I think, awesome stuff. Obviously, I'm not a great contributor to the blog, so I'm so glad that you want to do that.
No problem.
Yeah, so very cool stuff. Just once again, sorry to everybody that was aghast of me not seeing the great outdoors.
I'm still.
Anyway,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so
that should be a sound bite.
Totally
great sound bite. Love it.
I've already got my, I know we haven't talked about exchanging Christmas gifts, but boy, do I have something. I've got something in mind for you, Dave. It's a 2-pack DVD set with The Thing and The Great
Outdoors. Yeah.
Hey, have you watched The Thing yet?
I have not.
Oh my God. Have you watched the other movie that I sent you? The Forbidden Zone.
Did you want to go into that conversation? I think we could probably talk for another, a little bit longer than we probably want to.
Seriously, have you watched it?
I started.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Okay. Anyway, social media.
I ran out of time, and I think I was Facebook messaging you guys.
Yeah.
But now the problem is, do I give myself the time to go back to it? And that's the conversation we need to have.
Okay.
Because I did watch about, I'd say, 15 minutes into it. And I know you told me to commit to 20.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that we need to have.
Okay.
And
all
I
right,
think we need
we'll
more time.
We'll talk next week.
Yeah, we need more time on that.
Okay. All right, definitely. Okay. So, Rose, how about your social media?
God,
Sorry.
I'm so disturbed.
Tangents.
Anyway.
Tangents. We're on tangents.
We do this.
We need seatbelts.
Yeah. Harness those, screw the seatbelt. Anyway.
We need ludicrous speed.
Yeah. 80s Music Girl on Twitter, 80s Music Girl on Instagram, and 80s Music Girl on Facebook.
Awesome. All right. You can find me on Twitter at 80s Auto Reverse or at Scott's Eye, and on Facebook at 80s Mixtape Auto Reverse. Or you can find all of us through, the 80s Reboot Overdrive podcast too. So, with that said, thank you so much for listening. And
we forgot one thing.
Hey, don't forget, please go and leave us a review on iTunes. It's very important to us. It would mean the world to us, and we will forever owe you many, 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 many thanks. So we'll say that over and over again. Many, many, many thanks.
Many.
Anybody that leaves an iTunes review with at least 4 stars, please.
And if you can't give us 4 stars, you gotta tell us why.
Yeah,
Seriously.
really. No, seriously.
Yeah.
If you can't leave us 4, then tell us why. 4 or 5. If we're not in the 4 or 5 category, we need to know why, so we can improve, so we can bring it to the game, because that's what we really want to do. That's all we want is to
help us help you.
We want the listeners to enjoy what we're bringing. So
absolutely,
please leave reviews so we know what you're thinking.
And if you do leave a review, I want to quote an 80s movie, and I'll see if my co-host can get this. Thank you very, 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 very much.
That'd be Monty Python.
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits.
Yes.
But is it John Cleese?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's why I saw Monty Python. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you see, that's why I didn't even try, because I would have gotten it wrong.
I love John Cleese. He's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not we're talking about John Candy tonight, so no John Cleese. Maybe another time.
No, yeah. Another tangent.
Sir John.
Yeah.
Another time
right.
for Sir John.
Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. There we go, setting the time frame again.
Yep.
That's okay.
Who knows when everybody's listening?
I know. You try to keep it as open as possible as far as what time people are listening to, but it just when we're recording, I'm in the mindset that it's evening when we record, so it's the natural thing that comes out. Oh well.
I get it.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, have a great time, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80's Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80's Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80's Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.
All right, cool. Done.
John Candy in the
Thank
can.
you so much. And I felt like I wrapped it up a little too soon, but at the same time, we it's almost 11 here, so I got to go to bed anyway.
Yeah, we did great. We had to get over our shock and dismay.
Dude, I cannot believe you have not seen The Great Outdoors.
I'm so glad that I can surprise you people.
And I think that should be like a synchronized gasping. That was amazing. Thanks for setting that up, Dave, because that was like
that one moment where I was like, I precursored it. It was like the fourth wall where I was like Ferris Bueller for a minute. I talked to the audience, and I was like, stand by, here it comes.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was great.
That right there, I really needed to cut that one part out. And that was it, and you guys played exactly as I expected. So, but it's sad to say that sad to say, it's the truth.
Please,
I wear
Dave.
it proudly. I wear it proudly like a badge of courage.
I'll go watch like 2 episodes of Miami Vice and 2 episodes of A-Team if you promise me that you go watch The Great Outdoors.
Like, when do I have to make that commitment by?
The end of the year?
Yeah, sure.
End of the year. So I've got to watch The Great Outdoors before the end of the year.
6 weeks. You have 6 weeks, Dave.
6 weeks.
Okay.
Make 5.5 weeks. You have 5.5 weeks.
Okay.
Not 9.5 weeks.
Speaking of Great Outdoors, did you all notice? Now, see, I've only watched She's Having a Baby like once, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you see that he was credited as being Chet from The Great Outdoors in that movie?
What, really?
Yeah. See, that makes me want to suffer through all of that again just to see that.
Oh, come on. Suffer through it. It wasn't that bad of a movie. That was a good movie.
What?
She's Having a Baby. That was good. Kevin Bacon?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
God. Do I have to have a talk with you, Rose?
Oh, it's me now, is it?
So is it now? Any
the
John
focus
Hughes
is on
movie is
me.
all of a sudden, end all be all, great stuff.
Oh, also, actually, there is. She's Having a Baby was played in the background of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
When?
Just FYI. When Steve Martin calls home late at night and his wife is laying in bed watching TV, in the background she's watching something on TV, and there's a line from She's Having a Baby.
Really?
Where, yes, I'm not kidding, and you can like fast forward to that spot.
Now, how could a 1988 movie be in a 1987 movie?
I don't know, but it happened. Okay, I'd be willing to bet money on this. In the background, she says she can sleep anywhere but in this room, anywhere in this house.
Okay. So let me make sure that I've got this time right, the timeline right.
Yeah.
You're saying in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yes.
There is reference to She's Having a Baby.
Yes.
So, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is released in 1987, according to IMDb.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's Having a Baby is released in 1988, according to IMDb.
Are you gonna make me record?
I'm just making sure that I've got it right. So, for the record,
I am dead set on this.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I would have to go back and revisit Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to make sure.
You know what? You won't have to, because I'm going to send you a message with it.
Oh, snap!
Yeah,
he's got.
I'm going to find it. I know exactly. I know where to look for it. I've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that many times.
Okay. Wow. I'm so impressed with you right now, Scott.
Oh, no, you're not.
He's got the 80s mojo going.
The only reason you're not impressed. You're dumbfounded that I'm this big of a dork.
Okay, if you insist. I was, borderline impressed, but yeah, thanks for pushing me over the edge there.
No, seriously, I'm not kidding. This is real. I've noticed it. It's like something that jumped out at me in several times I've watched it.
So does this make him the new Overlord?
No.
No. Okay.
Just somebody that notices little tiny things like the Star Wars glasses with Dan Aykroyd.
That's not what makes Dave the Overlord.
No. That's not. No.
You don't know what makes you the Overlord?
What makes me the Overlord? Go ahead, Rose.
Well, for example, what are we doing tonight? Well, I thought, we do Curtis Armstrong and John Candy. Well, really, I would like to do Jamie Gertz because we don't know enough women. So why don't we do that? And we don't have a whole lot of time. So instead of cramming everything into one, podcast, I just really think we should focus on these two. Okay.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes later.
So I don't know if I'm the Overlord, but more of a manager.
Okay.
That's an Overlord, dude. Get with the program.
All right.
Yeah, they're kind of synonyms.
Overlord, dictator.
No, I will not say dictator.
Yeah, please don't say dictator.
David's not a dictator.
Oh, I didn't say speaking of dictator, snap. Okay, so just really quick, and then
because I don't want people thinking, okay, Hitler equals Dave.
No, I was thinking more Mussolini, but that's okay.
Oh, all right, there you go. That's better.
So I'm watching
Mussolini, Trump, Dave. Yeah, same name.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Wow.
so I'm watching this on YouTube, and it was like the 10 top most inappropriate toys for children ever created.
Thunder Tank.
And no, you're just never going to think of this. You're just never going to think of this because who would have thought of this? Seriously, unless you had like firsthand knowledge. Basically, it's a Lego constructed concentration camp.
No.
No.
A Polish guy created this Lego constructed concentration camp, and he had like the Nazis as the guards and everything, and you could see like the little people, with the beards and
swastika.
And he had the people. He had like the prisoners of war, the prisoners, the Jewish,
the Jewish
emaciated Jews.
People that was prison. They were all Lego skeletons.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No way.
This is so wrong.
This was like 2007.
That's wrong on so many levels.
It is. It ended up selling. Somebody bought it. It wasn't like a toy that they like sold.
Like production.
But it was something that he created out of different Lego sets. And it ended up selling for over $75,000.
Get out of town.
Seriously. That was only second to the Titanic blow-up slide that someone in China made. And it was the top end of the Titanic ship that was sinking backwards, like from the movie. Like the top end was already in the water. And this is an actual slide for a children's party.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just have one thing to say.
Oh.
Our world is broken.
It is. It is completely broken.
All right, I gotta go to bed, guys. It's
Bed.
almost 11. I gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I don't have that problem, but I go to the dentist. So.
You have to go to the dentist tomorrow?
At 9, yeah.
I think I'd rather go to work.
I'm still trying to figure out where we went from me being overlord and dictator to
a Jewish
to the Jewish
Death
Legos
Camp Lego set.
I'm still trying to figure that one out, but if you guys want to leave me, that's fine. I'll be stewing on that one for a while now, though.
Oh, shish. You love the attention and you know it. Get out of here.
Dave, you know a good way to get it, put it behind you and get it out of your mind?
Watch The Great Outdoors?
That's right.
Yeah, I figured you were going there.
Buddy. Watch The Great Outdoors.
It's a good escape.
Well, I know I've got a Forbidden Zone I can always drop in, so.
The Great Escape.
Jet boat. Jet boat. No, we're going to get a nice little pontoon. Jet boat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I'm sure one of these days these references I'll get.
You will.
Yeah.
If you watch The Great
Outdoors. Yeah.
With John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, and Annette Bening. And, what's the other actress? I can't remember. Anyway.
No Jimmy Gertz? Just kidding.
Jimmy Gertz. Cute brunette, though.
No, she's a blonde, actually.
No. I'm talking about the girl, the love interest of the son. That's
cute. Wow. Notice how you just skipped over the mom completely and went to the hottie.
No, I was thinking of her originally, but
yeah, she was in
Carrie Green.
She was in
Carrie Green, Lucas.
Yeah. Boy Who Could Fly.
And the Goonies.
Wow. Oh, was she?
Yeah.
I don't remember her in there.
Andy.
Yes.
Oh, no. She wasn't Andy.
She was Andy in the Goonies. I'm looking at IMDb right now. Come on.
She doesn't look like... Are you sure you're looking at the same person? You sure you're looking at the chick from The Boy Who Could Fly?
I am looking. Okay, you go to Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
You look at Jennifer Chester. I'm assuming this is the character you're talking about. I could be wrong.
No, I'm throwing two main characters at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Larroquette's in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Even more reason to watch it.
And there's a guy that gets hit by lightning 66 times in the head. 66 times in the head.
Oh my
And that
God.
guy's a great character actor too. The guy that plays that role. All right, we gotta go.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night.
I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Love you too,
Right.
Dave. Even though you're the overlord.
80s love. Gotta give it a lot of 80s love.
The 80s Love Fest continues.
Yep. All right. Hey, I might be doing that other podcast next week with I might be cheating on y'all.
With those other people.
I've ever been cheated on and have been told ahead of time. That's
Yeah. I might be cheating on you. So
No, actually, Return to the 80s guys, they're awesome. So
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
They're kick ass.
Yeah.
They're definitely that's a part of
I'm
it.
on board with us jumping back and forth with those guys.
I'm totally gonna promote us too. Don't worry.
Awesome.
All right.
Yes.
So, all right.
Go to bed.
So if I don't see you next week, then it'll be the week after. And have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks. You too.
You too. You too.
All right. Later.
Okay.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.